In a quiet village nestled at the edge of a great forest, there lived a young boy named Elias. He was no ordinary boy, gentle in spirit, curious by nature, and often found wandering through fields and woods, marveling at the world around him. The birds, the trees, the flowing streams, he loved them all. He was especially fond of animals, and if he ever saw one in distress, he would do whatever he could to help it. One morning, just as the sun was rising and casting golden rays across the forest floor, Elias set out with his little sack, looking for kindling and berries. Birds chirped cheerfully in the treetops, and dew glistened like diamonds on the leaves. As he ventured deeper into the woods than usual, something caught his attention, a soft rustling beneath a tree. Cautiously, Elias crept forward and discovered a snake lying motionless in the grass. Its beautiful green and gold scales were dulled with dust, and it seemed to be in pain. A sharp thorn was lodged deep in its side, and its breathing was slow and shallow. Now Elias had been taught to fear snakes. The elders in the village often warned children to stay away from them, for their bite could be deadly. But as Elias looked into the creature's eyes, he saw not danger, but suffering. He could not walk away from something in pain. "Don't be afraid," Elias whispered gently, crouching beside the snake. "I want to help you." Slowly and carefully, he used a stick to loosen the thorn, then tugged it out with trembling fingers. The snake shuddered, letting out a long hiss, but it did not strike. Instead, it slithered away silently into the undergrowth, leaving Elias with nothing but the echo of its departure and a sense of quiet pride. He had done a good thing. Elias told no one of his deed. To him, it was just a small act of kindness, something anyone with a heart would do. Life went on. The seasons began to change. The trees turned golden and then bare. The winds grew colder, and the forest slowly settled into the hush of winter. One chilly afternoon, as Elias was gathering firewood near that same part of the forest, he heard a sound that stopped him in his tracks. A hissing noise, low and familiar. He turned, and there it was, the same snake he had once helped. Only now it looked much healthier. Its scales gleamed in the fading light, and its eyes sparkled like polished stones. Elias froze. For a moment their eyes met again. He felt a strange warmth of recognition, perhaps even friendship. Without warning, the snake lunged and sank its fangs into Elias's hand. He gasped in shock and stumbled backward, his bundle of firewood falling to the ground. Pain surged through his body like fire. His hand turned numb, his legs weakened, and he collapsed beneath the bare trees, the cold earth rising to meet him.
As he lay there, fading in and out of consciousness, the snake slithered a short distance away and coiled beneath a bush. It did not flee, nor did it attack again. It simply watched. Hours later, a woodcutter from the village happened upon the scene and recognized Elias. He carried the boy home, where the village healer worked tirelessly through the night to save him. Thanks to herbs, warmth, and time, Elias survived. But the wound on his hand left a permanent scar, not just on his skin, but in his heart. When he was strong enough to speak, the villagers gathered around his bed, eager to hear what had happened. He told them everything: the snake, the thorn, the rescue, and the unexpected bite weeks later. "But why would the snake bite you?" they asked, horrified. "You helped it. You showed it kindness." Elias looked at them quietly, then at the small scar on his hand. "Because it is a snake," he said simply.
"It didn't bite me out of anger or revenge. It bit me because that is its nature. I wanted to believe that kindness could change that, but I was wrong." The villagers nodded solemnly. They had all heard stories of wolves in sheep's clothing and scorpions riding on frogs' backs, but this tale struck deeper. It was a lesson not about cruelty, but about caution. Elias recovered, but he never ventured into the deep woods alone again. And whenever someone asked him about that day, he would smile sadly and say, "Kindness is powerful, but wisdom must walk beside it." And so, the story of the boy and the snake was told and retold, passed from elder to child, from fireside to festival. It reminded all who heard it that while compassion is a beautiful virtue, one must never ignore the nature of those we offer it to. The moral of the story: never expect gratitude or change from those whose nature is to harm. Even kindness cannot always alter what lies deep within.